What is good, everybody? Quan Credible here to bring you the first video in my magical attribute index series that I'm going to start on my channel. So, as a disclaimer, or not really a disclaimer, but just to let you guys know, I did record this entire video already, but like when I was editing it today, I just felt like I could make it a lot better. So this is basically a take two of that entire video. I guess you guys didn't really need to know that, but I wanted to tell you guys. So the first, as you guys can see, will be air magic. I'm going to try to go in alphabetical order. I might double up on some letters here and there. I don't know. The goal is definitely to do all of them at some point or another. One thing about this series before I go into air magic is that I'm just going to be talking about the magic attribute in general, not necessarily what the person itself does with it. I mean, of course, I'm going to be referencing the person, you know, just because I'm going to have to, but it's not necessarily like this one's about air magic, but it's not about Randall. It's about his magic. So it's going to be like that. So anyway, finally into air magic. As we know, Randall, like I just said, is the only person in Black Clover who has air magic. And the first thing that I was thinking about when I initially was doing when I was initially doing my research for this video is like air is wind to me. So like, what's the difference between wind and air? So I Googled that. And basically air is just like, from my understanding, wind is just like moving air. So that would make air just stationary wind. So really not all too much different. However, in Black Clover, or in the world of Black Clover, I should say, air magic is invisible. As you can see, like I'll put it up on the screen, the Crimson Lions, when they're fighting against the reincarnated elf version of Randall, they noted his air magic is invisible. While wind magic, for the most part, I believe is visible. I mean, everyone can see Yuno's attacks. No one has ever noted that his attacks were invisible, or any wind spells for that matter, or wind-based spells. No one has ever noted them to be invisible. So in the world of Black Clover, it appears that air is invisible while wind is not. So that's like an added little bonus to it. For the most part, how Randall appears to be using it, he mostly uses it in the mixture of like with like a kind of like a kung fu or martial arts fighting style. That seems to be like how he has, I want to say, like, what's a good word? More or less like optimized his usage of air magic is with that, with like palm thrust and kicks and all that to shoot air, as well as using the air as footholds to like kick off of mid-air and stuff like that. Kind of reminds me of Avatar, or Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender. How, I mean, he's an airbender, so he uses like air to fight, but it's like more or less like a martial arts mixed with air. That's what Randall reminds me of, or at least how we see him using it. So a lot of his attacks are, like I just said, shock waves and like walls of air and things along of that nature. So with that, from here, I want to kind of expand more on that and think of what else more he could do. Like, how much further could you take air magic? Like, how could we really push the boundaries of it? And like, what could this magic type really be capable of? And the first thing that came to my mind was utilizing air pressure. Like, say if you could condense your air magic down to be even more precise and things like that, you could get like a really sharp air, you could get like a really sharp air pressure cannon that would have like amazing piercing power, or like high, like, what would it be, damage capabilities. You know, you could really pierce through like tons of people's of their defenses and things along that line. That's still kind of more along the lines of like with how Randall uses it, and I really wanted to think more outside of that. Now, so far we've really only seen air magic be used as primarily an attack based magic, where like we haven't seen any support based spells, nor do we really think about any support based spells. I mean, the closest thing we got to it would be in the filler, or not even in the filler, but just Leo mentioned in the anime that him and Randall's magic goes well together, just because the air strengthens fire. And I guess, yeah, we even did see that in the filler, that Randall's magic, when combined with fire magic, strengthens it. But outside of that, we really don't get to see any instances of it being a supplementary type. So some ideas that I was having for that could be, for say like a healing spell, you could have like a breath of air, or breath of life, air of life, something along those lines, where you could like take in air to heal yourself. Because I mean, because we've all heard that air or certain breathing techniques can have healing properties or calming properties, something along those lines. I think that would be really cool to see in the future. And then thinking into how like air magic could get really broken, is I feel like if you could mix this with monozone, or a person with air magic using monozone, could be extremely powerful, because you could get say like you could get a spell that could make all the air in the area just like really thin. So it would like kind of weaken your opponent because it'd be harder for them to breathe. Or on the inverse, you could make the air just really like rough in the area, almost like if the area is just really windy. While it's not affecting you, it's affecting your opponent, thus affecting their mobility. Like I definitely don't think air magic is the most broken type of magic out there, but in terms of versatility, I feel like there's a lot of different ways you could apply it that can make it really useful, especially since in the world of Black Clover, like I said, it is invisible. Outside of air magic, I don't really think we've seen any other invisible magic types. Like I'm really trying to think about it right now, and for the most part, all the other types of magic you can visibly see. So it being invisible is a huge plus, because on that end, people would have to rely on their magic sensing to really be able to dodge it. Since you can't see it with your eyes. So basically that is my take on the air attribute magic. If you guys have any other like cool abilities or cool uses for air magic that you guys can think of, please let me know down below in the comment section. I would love to kind of theory craft on what air magic could actually really do if it was fully applied. And then like I said earlier, this is just the first of many in the magical attribute series. Next, I want to either do for B, I want to do either Briar Magic or Beast Magic. Let me know down below in the comment section which one you guys want to see the most, and then I'll put that one out first. And then I'll either move on to C from there, or if you guys really want to do the other one, then that's fine too. Just let me know. I mean, they're all going to come out eventually, but I guess you guys can decide the order of it on that one. Outside of that, just like and sub. I really do appreciate all that stuff, and I will catch you guys in my next video.